poofy hat. It's a little crazy right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
He might be a middle-aged balding man. He is from our neighbors, and then all of the roosters
are from your neighbors.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't have any, and they're like, "We'll bring you some," and then they just keep bringing, which is fine.
Crack up. Okay, so let's go check out the chickens and the goats. Bella or Josie, go real slow though, because I don't want him to. I've never been around any animal like this.
It's a goat.
Okay, go real slow. Okay, is he okay?
Yeah, they're good.
What is he doing with his neck?
I think he's breathing.
Okay, so this is so go. You can pet him if you want to. Be very careful and be nice.
I thought that the black mark on their chest was they had cockaburs, and so I went up and tried to pull it, and it like squawked. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to look at it and see. Here, let me see if I can get close to it. Where at? Oh, on their chest. Oh, I see it. What is it?
It is. I don't know much about turkeys. This was not my idea.
So when did you get the turkeys?
We got the turkeys in March when we got chicks from just a local Tractor Supply. They had 13 turkeys, and we were like, I said, we don't need turkeys. I don't know anything about a turkey. And Tyler said, okay, I'll get 4. Okay, and so he came back and he said, the lady said if we took all of them, she would sell them discounted. So we came home with 13 turkeys.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I will never have turkeys again, just personally.
Are they high maintenance?
They are just a mess.
Kind of like ducks? I've heard ducks are really messy.
Give them turkey feed. I give them chicken feed. They eat whatever the heck they want feed. They've been eating my dog feed.
Really?
Yes, they eat all the time. And they poop.
They eat and poop, and that's about it. Okay, well.
So, yeah.
They eat dirt.
They might be eating bugs.
There probably is bugs in there. At the beginning of the year, I put 8 hay bales in their
That's one of the main reasons, like, I want to get chickens, of course, for the eggs. Mm-hmm. But I've heard that they're really good, of course, for, preparing your ground.
Yes.
Like, you can put them in your garden area and they'll get all the bugs out and they'll poop and fertilize and all of that stuff. So do you use any of the bedding for your garden?
I actually do, yes. It needs cleaned right now, but that's good because I can put it in my compost pile, and then in the spring I can put it on the garden.
So do you do all your composting here too?
We are trying it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we just keep their poop in a pile with our topsoil, and then we'll take it all out to the garden at the beginning of the year.
There you go.
They don't even lay their eggs.
How do they lay their eggs?
They do. Do you see her tail down here? This is one of my hens I got this year. She, I don't think, is laying yet because her legs aren't actually dark enough. Fun fact, whenever chickens lay eggs, their legs are like the deep dark yellow, and that's when you can tell that they're actually starting to lay.
Is that just for these types, or is that for every type?
From what I've read, it's every type of chicken. I don't know anything about ducks or geese or turkeys.
So they'll get you said a bright yellow?
Bright yellow. This one's probably close. There are some breeds of chickens, like these guys, they have black feet. And I think that...
And some are big.
Yeah.
Some of them are
that
big.
one's a rooster.
So
I did
you
not
can
know
see
that.
my old hen down there. She's probably getting ready to go to chicken soup camp. She has white legs. She stopped laying this spring.
So about how old?
It says 4 months is when they typically start. I think it's closer to 6 or 8 generally when they start consistently laying eggs. So back to where they lay their eggs. If one of them will turn around, that one right there, you can see the fluff on its butt, and then you can see the actual feathers that are not fluffy. There is a vent there, and that is where they have their egg come out. Ooh, that one's really pretty.
You have 3 roosters.
Ooh, I actually have more.
4. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, and then there is the white fluffer butt in there with his butt facing us. That's a rooster too. He's a silky, which is a different breed. He also has the black feet.
How many different breeds do you have here?
6.
I'm not sure.
Is there a certain breed that like lays more?
There are Americanas, the cinnamon queens. Those are the top two that we typically try to get. I'm not sure what all we have here. That little feller is actually a barnyard mix that I hatched myself this spring. He's quite a bit younger than these girls.
He's got some funky colors on him,
does.
doesn't he?
I think his dad is the yellow guy that's running around out of the pen.
I'm going to ask some really stupid questions because I don't know anything about chickens.
Okay.
So, and I haven't even started reading. Like this is my first experience asking you questions. So, okay, how do you know when a chicken is broody?
She stays strictly on her nest. She
Okay.
doesn't get out. She doesn't eat. Typically whenever I throw feed out, everybody flocks to the feed.
Mm-hmm.
She will stay in her nest.
So, and are you supposed to separate her, and keep her nested in a different location so she doesn't like sit on all the eggs?
You can. What we do if we leave one nut broody is we'll go in the nest and we'll write like 1 through 8 on the eggs, and those are the ones she keeps, and then the ones that don't have numbers on them or a marking.
Oh, that's
they'll
a good
go
idea.
nest.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good idea.
I typically don't let them go broody just because we go through about a dozen eggs every other day.
How do you keep them from going broody?
You don't.
You just
Yeah, I just collect the eggs, I guess,
And just
she'll
keep-
stay there.
Okay.
But once she's like, oh, there's no eggs, she'll move.
okay. How many eggs do you typically get a day?
When they were laying, we were getting, I think, 7 to 9, and that was when our older girls were laying. When this group starts consistently laying, we should get 1 from each hen every day. I think we have around 25 hens, so we should get around 25 eggs a day. If that's what science says.
Yeah.
And generally, when our hens are laying, we get what we have.
So what do you do whenever you have 25 and you have 25 a day? Like, what are you doing with all those eggs?
So
Like, how do you preserve them?
we actually sell them.
Okay.
Or
okay.
give them away.
Okay.
We are more apt to give them away.
Do you guys got any questions about chickens? How many chickens y'all want on our farm?
12.
12 chickens. We'll have 12 eggs a day. Okay. How old do they usually get when they stop laying?
Mine are 3. That's how long I've had them.
Okay.
I purchased them as layers, so they're older than what I know. So some of them can lay for a longer period of time, and some of them can go for a shorter period of time. I think a lot of it has to do with their diet and how well they're kept.
Okay.
So chickens are very susceptible to like a bunch of different diseases.
That's a good question there.
Mites, lice. Yeah, like birds can drop off diseases in their pen and then infect your whole flock, and that's not fun.
So what do you do if they get lice?
I try to keep
Diatomaceous earth?
Yes. I have trouble saying that. They don't have any right now because whenever I cleaned it out last time, Tyler's nephews were helping and they threw out my bucket for it because you keep like a little, I do anyway, just something that they can get in and dust themselves off with. I also try to add like lye to our Coop just for like a deodorizer, and then it also helps neutralize if there's anything in there. A lot of the times during like winter, we will add like apple cider vinegar to their water just as like an extra electrolyte.
Okay.
That is who you talk to is I don't do it or I do it, and we do it just for the extra like probiotic in it, and it seems to help. We've had pretty healthy layers for the most part.
Okay, here's going to be another silly question.
Okay.
Do you have to like give them any sort of, I don't know, like antibiotics to keep them from getting sick, or?
I've never had to. I don't know. That's
I
a
mean,
good question.
well, because you always see like in the store like free range, no antibiotics and stuff like
Yes.
that. So I'm like, well, why would they have to give them? I guess it would just be their like their living conditions. Maybe they have to keep them.
Yes.
I don't know. See, I know,
Most of them have like crowns, except for that one right there.
What's a crown?
like the thing on their head.
Oh,
On the head.
that's a good question, and I think it's just their breed. I don't remember what we purchased, so I can't tell you. I think that one is a different breed for sure, though. A Brahma family breed. You would be surprised at what these chickens can dig up to. When we put them here, the people who owned the property before us had the building and everything. We just cut a hole in it so they could come in and out. And this was a dog pen. And so like the wood that they're digging up and stuff was not here. So it's actually really neat to see. Chickens are my favorite. They're my pride and joy.
Okay, so do these guys do you ever free range them, let them out and run, or do you?
I have before. I don't like to because when they free range, they just lay wherever they want to.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, here's a clutch of eggs.
Right.
Is the owl there to keep the hawks away?
It is actually, we had an owl problem with the 13 turkeys that we had. An owl was coming because I left the turkeys free range because of how gross they become. An owl was coming and just terrorizing the heck out of the turkeys. I had 4 beginning this week. I accidentally ran one over in the side-by-side.
Oh no.
I thought he was going to move and he just went right in front of me. And
Oh crap.
yes, he was the biggest one. I was going to have him for Thanksgiving. So we have an owl there, and then we have an owl in the bucket where I put trash and bags and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when you'll need a bag if you have an animal that dies randomly, or especially during the summer if they get overheated. I come out here twice a day and water them, but sometimes you can lead them to, or you can water them, but you can't lead them to water.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll stay outside all day and then get sick and die, or get overheated and die. But yeah, I put the owls out and I have not seen the owl come back since.
That's interesting.
Super. And Tyler called me crazy. He's like, that will never work. And it has.
Good.
So, yeah. Really clean this out at the beginning of summer.
Mm-hmm.
And wipe down the walls, everything else.
So what do you use to clean it?
Just a disinfectant. Vinegar water works too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get in there?
You can walk in.
So another question is, how many chicken snakes do you find in here a year?
I have found 1 snake ever.
Really?
Yes. She's broody. That's a good question from earlier. She thinks that this blue egg is hers, so Addie said she wasn't getting out of it, and she'll sit back down. Maybe.
So what do they do when you take their eggs away from them? Do they get angry?
Usually they'll
Oh.
give a little twirl and then
Okay, so how many goats do you have?